Hi, I'm Sam. I'm the co-founder of Kingdom Impact Lab with my wonderful, amazing, beautiful wife, Tattoo. And in this video, I want to share with you the biggest struggle that I had in my life for many, many years, how I found the solution, and what I've been doing for the last 8 months or so after investing, my estimate is probably about 1,000 hours into. It's provided a solution for me. I've developed a framework and I want to help others as well. So the biggest problem that I had for so many years was I lacked clarity in my life of what my goals were. I lacked purpose and meaning in what I wanted to do. I started off as a freelance copywriter for several years, and then after working with a lot of clients, investing a lot of time, energy, effort and money into improving my skills, improving my ability, getting better results for clients, I then started my own marketing agency, which after 3 years was a catastrophic fail and I just completely ended it. The biggest problem that I had for so many years is so in the first 7 years of my journey, I was enthusiastic and excited because I was improving a new skill. I was getting better at what I did. I was getting better at copywriting. I was able to learn things in theory, put them in practice and see them work. And there was excitement in this. There was fulfillment as my ability went from zero to quite decent at what I did. And then I started my marketing agency, which is where everything kind of fell to pieces. So the reason why it fell to pieces is because there's a big difference between being a freelancer, and a freelancer would be self-employed, and a business owner. As a freelancer, you pretty much do the work yourself, and then you exchange, you receive a fee for the work you do. A business owner has all these other moving parts that you need to think about and know and do, which is difficult if you're not brought up in that environment. So that's one thing. I actually had to build the business systems myself and then try to hire people to manage them. It didn't work. Essentially, it resulted in me losing motivation. I spent thousands and thousands on coaches trying to help me uncover my purpose, my why I was doing what I was doing, just to find the meaning in the day-to-day tasks that I did. But I just could not find my why. And as a result, I had no reason for doing things other than for money, which inherently lacked meaning for me. It was kind of frustrating when, for example, everything that I did in my business just didn't work. It didn't align with who I am as a person. The people that I hired as freelancers and to work on my team, there was no loyalty with them. There was nothing. I tried my best to be as good to them as possible, but they just took advantage. One case was the very first person I hired. She was someone from the local city, and there was a million and one things I could have done differently, and I was a terrible employer in hindsight. First time I'd ever done anything, but in general we were kind to her, we were nice to her, and then one day I just got the message, oh, by the way, something better's come, I'm leaving, bye. Which was so frustrating because we had a 6-month contract, we had an agreement. Just the way that it ended. With this particular person, my wife and I, we liked her a lot. If she'd have just explained the situation to me first, then of course I'm going to want to do what's best for her, instead of, okay, I'm leaving, bye. Okay, she's young, naive, okay, fair enough. I work with someone long term in my business, Freedom with Marketing. I paid her a decent amount. I gave her stability. I could rely on her, and she had 3 hours per day and one day I found out that she was using my ChatGPT to service other clients. She tells me it was a mistake, and I believe her it was a mistake, but the implications of that suggest to me that if she was using my, I paid to use paid for their subscription, and if it's open, it kind of suggests that she's servicing other clients on my time, which was a problem. Again, in hindsight, I'll hold my hands up. I used to do that as well with other clients in the past, and I understand why it happens. And the reason is because in both instances, these two people were trading their time for money, and everything was 100% focused on money. No loyalty, nothing bigger or better than that. And I just struggled where things like that happened time and time again, and I just couldn't understand what was wrong. Couldn't understand where the meaning is, the purpose is, or anything. For example, I launched an offer on LinkedIn where it was, we'll help you, I think it was, we'll help you get 2 to 5 clients in the next 30 days. The cost for this is going to be, we'll implement the system. The cost for this will be, $1,000 plus something else afterwards. You only pay me after we've got the result. Well, I spoke to someone, we aligned, we started to implement it, and to cut a long story short, because of the way the whole thing was set up, is that I was this prospect that we were doing this service for, and we only got paid if we succeeded. He kept rejecting all of the ideas that I had, and then he rewrote in his own thing and used his own strategy, but I was paying my team to execute. Situations like that, where the way that both parties go into this relationship is money, and so it's just conflict. I remember one client I had in America, and this client bought a business which sold a physical health product, and honestly, in hindsight, I think he probably bought the business. He was either missold the business on the benefits because it did not, the operations of the business did not match up to what he was telling me, and I just could not get it to work. I suspect he bought the business as a way to defer tax, because he was an investor and he had big portfolios. And again, based on the information that he told me, there was a lot of potential in the business, and so I was sacrificing the short term in order to go the extra mile all the time in order to reach the future point where I could have a share of the fruit that would come. Well, nothing ever happened to that, and then in hindsight, this person is an investor, and so if he has a big investment portfolio, what that means is that his day-to-day job is looking at his accounting statements, looking at all the businesses, at the financial statements of the businesses, which ones are making money, which ones aren't, which is this, which is that, profit loss, all of these things. Of course, that's the way that he viewed me, and he wanted to squeeze every ounce of value out of me that he possibly could. What I was, and you can't blame him for it, because I got myself in a situation, it's my own fault. But I get frustrated with it because, hang on, look at all of this extra stuff that I'm trying to give you, and you're just completely ignoring it, taking advantage of it from my perspective. It just ended badly. And there's countless stories like this throughout the last 10 years, but in particular in the last 2 or 3 years. I just struggled. I had burnout, disillusionment, no meaning, no purpose, no nothing. And I was on a negative spiral downhill. I was on, you might hear me in other videos talk about Jacob's Ladder, where the goal is you want to aim upwards at the highest possible aim you possibly can, becoming Christ-like, as Jordan Peterson teaches, where every day you make incremental progress upwards. Well, the opposite's true as well. You can make incremental progress downhill, downwards towards hell, the depths of hell, and you can always make a bad situation worse, which is what I was doing day in, day out, week in, week out, compounding. There was a lot of meltdowns, arguments with my wife, fighting with my wife in front of our son, all of these things because of frustration, and I just couldn't articulate it. I was completely and utterly burned out, hated what I did, hated my job. And I remember going to church one Sunday before Christmas, and the pastor there said that if anyone here wants clarity over the Christmas holidays in anything it is, to put up their hand. And so I did. At the time I didn't accept Christ. I wasn't a Christian. I went to church because I thought it was important for my wife, who's Christian all her life. I want my son and our children to go to church, and I did. And then all of a sudden after Christmas, a series of what I can only describe as divine events, and I would describe them as divine events because it was a series of things that happened which I spent a lot of time trying to figure out if, hang on, is this coincidence or is this actually statistically improbable? And it was statistically improbable to the point where ChatGPT said that, look, it's the things that have happened in this particular order is statistically indistinguishable from zero. Okay, I accept the fact in a case like this that I am attaching meaning onto these events. So there is inherent bias because any sequence of random events could, in that particular order, would be statistically indistinguishable from zero too. So I do accept that. However, if my quest was to find meaning, my why, my purpose, then I'm forced to view the series of events through the lens of meaning, in which case it was therefore divine. Long story short, I became a Christian, and then I did receive clarity almost instantly, which was remarkable. It was literally a flash of clarity, and I understood everything over the course of a few days or a few weeks. I understood what my purpose was, what meaning is, what the why is, and then I spent several months and probably 1,000 hours to confirm it. And essentially, the solution is that you have to anchor in becoming Christ-like as your highest order ideal in everything that you do. And what this means is that you behave with extravagant love, the pursuit of excellence, humble service for the benefit of others, integrity, and you aim to do all of these things to the best of your ability in everything that you do. And then by doing that, you get inherent meaning in what you do. And that was a solution that I had. And so I then created a framework that I worked on myself through a lot of trial and error, a lot of journaling, question, reflection, to do it. And I actually found a solution to me, and that is the solution that I've built into my framework, which will help you anchor yourself, your identity in your highest order transcendent goal. I can help you cast a vision on what this actually means. For Christians, it's to become Christ-like. That's relatively easy. For non-Christians, it's going to be in anchoring your highest order aim in the pursuit of excellence in your character, your ability, and your integrity. In both cases, it's an infinite quest. It's unattainable. In fact, you're then making an incremental progress towards a goal that is greater than you. It's super important to adopt the mindset of extravagant love, which is you give first, you want to help others, you want to benefit others, you do things for the benefit of others, not for the benefit of yourself. And this in itself is where you get joy and fulfillment. And then most important of all is you have to adopt the mindset of a humble service. The reason is because if you don't adopt the mindset of humble service towards others, you are not stewed in your gifts, your talents, your resources to operate on extravagant love. And your pursuit of excellence becomes about you, which will naturally then result in, well, the opposite of humility is arrogance. And over a period of time, if you move towards an attitude of arrogance, you're going to make your life more miserable. Over the long term, the people around you, their lives more miserable, and those who you interact with. That was the story of my search for meaning. The short version is, I struggled for so long, couldn't find it, invested thousands and thousands of dollars and thousands of hours into figuring it out. And then when I became a Christian, it all became crystal clear. And that is, the goal is to become Christ-like, and for non-Christians is the pursuit of excellence in a way that aligns with doing things for the benefit of others while remaining humble in the process. And if this resonates with you, or you like the ideas here, or you're struggling to find meaning in your own life and your own business, I'd like to, one, invite you on the quest that I have at Kingdom Impact Lab. And what I'm trying to do is build a business on biblical principles from the bottom up. I'd like to invite you on the journey to the highs and lows, and probably more lows than highs to start off with. But it's a lab, Kingdom Impact Lab. It's to test new things, test hypotheses, try new things, and I want to invite you on the journey with me. And two, if this resonates with you, or you'd like to explore more or learn more about the framework I'm developing, when I can help you anchor your identity in Christ, get clarity on your core values, and basically help you create a vision that will move you towards becoming Christ-like in your business, and then help you bring that infinite abstract goal right the way down to the present moment, where we can do daily activities that move you towards it and help you actually achieve the goals while providing you all the support that you need in your business or work or whatever it is. Then reach out to me, contact me at sam@Kingdom Impact Lab. You can find me on LinkedIn too. And maybe when you're watching this video, there'll be more links and things in the description where you can contact as well. That's all I got for you. Thank you for your time, attention, and I hope this video was a blessing to you. Make it a great day. Bye for now.